Hello and welcome to the Wednesday Show on Wednesday. Hello and welcome back to the Wednesday Show. It is June 6th. I am CJ coming to you pre-recorded from Minnesota. The weather outside today is currently 68 and partly cloudy. Alright, our topics for today are tortillas, diet water. We're going to take our little break as we always do, then A24, and we're going to end the show with talking about the TV show, The Americans, and then that will be our show today. So let's get right into it with tortillas. Okay, so tortillas. This is just going to be a short little topic I wanted to bring up because this morning I just made some homemade tortillas. So I just took, I think it was called masa. It's, like basically corn flour, and then mix some water in with that, mix that up, put it on the stovetop, and yeah, made some tortillas. Had some breakfast tacos, some scrambled eggs, and some cheese, and sour cream. It was very good sour cream. I think it was Hy-Vee brand. They have good sour cream, dang. And then use some Taco Bell, like packet taco sauce. I used to not like their Diablo sauce, but I'm coming around to it on the flavor. It wasn't, the heat never really got me with that. It was just the flavor. I didn't really care for the flavor too much, but I'm starting to come around to the Diablo sauce. But yeah, homemade tortillas. They're pretty good, honestly. Not hard to make, really. No, it's just two ingredients. You got your corn flour and your water. That's it. I mean, it's a really simple recipe to make, and yeah, if you like tortillas, I'd suggest trying it out sometime. So anyways, let's get into our second topic of the day, which is diet water. Okay, so you might be thinking right now, diet water, what kind of crazy BS is this guy saying? Am I just making this up or what? Well, there's a little story behind this. So, my dad invented this concept called diet water. Apparently, it's a real product over in Japan or something like that. I found out a while later. But as a joke, my dad invented this concept. So, you have your diet pops and all that. So, he came up with the idea of diet water. And he would go to... This is a little funny. So he would go to a restaurant, and when the waiter or waitress would come up and be like, "Oh, what can I get you to drink?" And he'd be like, "I'll have the diet water." And then they'll just look at him like, "What are you talking about?" And they try and say to him like, "Sir, we don't have that." And then he would just kind of laugh it off, and it was all fun and games. Except for this, there was this one time, waitress comes up to the table, "Hi, how are you doing? My name's so and so. What can I get you a drink?" And my dad looks at her and says, "I'll have the diet water." And waitress says, I'm not sure we have that. I'm going to go in the back and check." The waitress left the table, went to the back of the restaurant to check to see if if they actually had diet water. Diet water. Someone, a waitress, actually went to the back to look to make sure if they had diet water. That was funny. She comes back and says, "Oh, sorry, sir, we don't have that." And my dad just burst out laughing, if I remember right. He might not have, but he was laughing about it later. It was funny. But I was telling this when I had my old job. I was telling this to some previous people at work, and then one of my coworkers looked at me and said, I would do it a little different. I would say, well, maybe you would order the diet water, and I'd be like, well, I want regular water, but I want diet ice cubes. I think it's kind of funny, but yeah. So anyways, I want to get that little story there. But my dad's birthday is coming up soon, in about a week or so. Yeah, it's getting close to a week now. So I was looking on Amazon.com, and apparently they have something called, I think it was diatonic water. I'm going to look it up quick on Amazon. Alright, come on. Diet water. There's diet tonic water. That's like the closest I can get to it. So I'm thinking I'm going to buy him some of that for his birthday as a joke. Since he's always spouting off about diet water this, diet water that, diet water, and he'll use that anytime we go to a restaurant, pretty much. And there's like a waiter or waitress that'll like, great, what can we get you to drink? So I think for his birthday, I'm gonna buy him some diet water, and I can just picture him getting a mug. Well, he likes to joke around with his coworkers at his job, so I could see him at his office with his mug and be like, hey, guess what I'm drinking? His coworker's probably saying something like, I don't know what, and then he's like, I'm drinking diet water. Takes a sip. They look at him like, you're crazy or whatever. Then he just whips out the bottle and be like, ha! I could just see my dad doing that. Be funny. So anyways, yeah, I think that was a good little story. I wanted to share that. So we're going to take our little break now, and we're going to get into it again with A24. Alright, if you haven't checked out my blog yet, you can check out my blog at the-quintessentialist.blogspot.com. That's the-quintessentialist.blogspot.com. I mostly do movie reviews on that, so go and check that out, please. I also have my Midwestern Gothic short story out titled The Ice Witch Under Lake Superior. You can find that on Amazon.com. If you're a short story writer and you need someone to beta read your short story, you can check out my beta reading service, my honest beta reading service on Fiverr.com. There'll be a link in the description of this podcast for that. So, if you're a short story writer and you need a beta reader, check out my service. Now back to the show. Alright, welcome back to the Wednesday show. This might be a shorter episode again, and I'm sorry about that. So anyways, let's get into it with A24. So, if you haven't been paying attention too much to, like, the film community, or you watch some movies, but you don't really pay attention to the companies, or, like, who's rising, and all that kind of stuff, and all that. But a company that's recently popped up last couple years is a company called A24. They're like an indie film company, but they're getting pretty big, honestly. I'm just going to go on their Wikipedia page for a second and see when they were formed. Founded August 20th, 2012, 5 years ago. Yep, 5 years ago still. So once it hits August 20th, it'll hit 6 years on Wikipedia. So it's still actually a fairly new company. And they've been coming out with some good movies, honestly. I think they've won a couple Oscars, too. Yeah, they've won a couple Oscars. So I'll just go through some movies you might have heard of that they have made. So, The Spectacular Now, Spring Breakers, Ex Machina, While We're Young, Amy, The Witch, or The Vavitch, The Lobster, Swiss Army Man, Into the Forest, Moonlight, It Comes at Night, A Ghost Story, Lady Bird, and The Disaster Artist. And some movies coming soon you might have heard. Oh, wait. How to Talk to Girls at Parties, that's out yet? Oh, that's another movie I want to see. Elle Fanning's in it. It's kind of like an alien comedy thing. It takes place, I think, in the 80s or 90s, and there's punk rockers and everything, but... what else do they have coming soon? Wait, it's under coming soon in all films. Oh, okay. Hereditary, that premieres tomorrow. It's supposed to be one of the scariest movies of the year, so I'm pretty excited for that. I am honestly pretty excited for that. And they got some stuff on TV. I've never heard of any of these. Okay. But yeah, A24 is kind of a big deal right now in film, I would say. It's kind of like the rising star in film. They just keep pumping out movies. I don't really know much about them because it's like, I think they could get as big as like Fox or Disney or Universal. You know, all those older, bigger companies. I think A24 could be on track to be a part of this. I really do think that they have great films, but they are kind of art house. So if you're not really into like the art house artsy films, I mean, you might find some of them boring, but I think they might be getting away from that a little bit, but at the same time, I'm kind of iffy on art house films myself. I just want to see a good movie that's entertaining. And if they can put that out there, you know, I'll give it a shot. I don't really care too much about what it's about. I just want a good story, essentially, if that makes sense. But honestly, I think it is something that's worth checking out. And I'm on their website right now, and they got like a little shop. What do they got? Evil Grandma's Wall Calendar. Oh, geez. Well, that's... Okay, even if you don't buy this, you gotta look it up. This is kind of funny. I'm not endorsed, or they're not sponsoring me in any way. I'm just saying, they have some cool stuff. Oh, they got some clothing and just some like pullovers, it looks like. Goods. Huh. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, pretty good company. So, anyways, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. So let's get into our last topic for the day, which is the Americans. Okay, so there's this show called The Americans. It just ended on FX, I think a week or two ago, or something like that. And, you know, series finale for the show. I just started watching the show from episode 1 a couple days ago. I'm a little behind, if you couldn't tell. Just a little bit. But it takes place... If you haven't seen the show, it takes place in the 1980s, or early 80s it starts out in, and it follows two KGB agents that are pretending to be Americans, and they're spying on the Americans, and like their next door neighbor's an FBI agent. So they gotta be careful about that, and they also have children that are raised American, and the kids don't know that their parents are KGB agents. So this is gonna be... very interesting. If you like spy movies or spy shows, this is one to check out. There can be a lot of tension in, you know, like spy shows and all that. You know, like that adrenaline feeling or that rush you get in like action movies sometimes. I usually don't get that, you know, when all the big fight scenes are going down. For me, I don't know why action scenes don't usually do it for me. But when you get a spy movie, when someone has to be sneaking around, it's like, oh, are they going to get caught? Oh, crap, oh, crap, oh, crap. Don't go over there. That person's going to see you. Oh, boy. You know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's what gets me going. Yeah, I am really loving the show so far. I'm only a few episodes in. I I think I'm going to be starting episode 5 today. But yeah, it's a very good show. The characters are well done, and I mean, it gets your attention right from the get-go. It's a really good show. But what else could I say about this show? I mean, it's good. It's a really good show, honestly. I want to say something more, but I can't really think of anything else to say about it. But it is really good. If you like spy movies or spy shows, this is one to check out. I highly recommend it, honestly. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that, I guess. So let's get into our outro for today. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Wednesday show. And sorry for the shorter episodes, but I can't really think too much to talk about to bring this to a full half hour all the time. Plus, it'd be nicer to get more views and more listeners, because I only get usually maybe 1 or 2. I mean, hopefully I'll get more as the show goes on, but yeah, you know. Let's see how things go. I'm only 17 episodes in, only. So anyways, hope you have a good day today. Hope your Wednesday is well. I hope you have a good coming week. I hope next Wednesday is well for you. And I hope today is good. So have a good day, and I'll see you next time.